Point we can council go back into questions, and I'd like to lead. Terry, would you come back up, please, to the podium? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You and I have some history.
Yes.
I think we've gone through this once before, years and years and years ago.
1991.
Tell me a little bit about, I was reminiscing and trying to get some facts straight last week in reference to the skateboard park that you had mentioned. I know the city had invested quite a bit of money at one time at the Gilmore Center to open and run a skateboard park, at which point, if I remember correctly, you or your organization took over or helped manage. Can you tell the council the story on the skateboard park?
Sure. Well, basically, I grew up here in Fayetteville, and Holly's Bicycle World and the Bicycle Shop both provided skateboard parks, privately owned little parks. They lost those parks, so they got rid of them. So me and all my friends, we're 17, 18, 19, we started getting in a whole lot of trouble. Just about everybody I knew got arrested. It was amazing. I got a job at Holly's. Luckily, I stayed out of the trouble. And I was like, when we had a skate park, we didn't get in trouble. So I found an article in a skateboarding business magazine, how to get your city to build you a skate park. I was like, I'll try that. Wrote a letter to Robert Barefoot, and he contacted me the next week. He was ready to get started. It was a done deal. They had the budget. They were going to put the park at Rowan Street Park on the tennis courts because the tennis courts haven't been used in years, right? And it was perfect. It would have been done in no time. Well, City Council, someone found out about it, and they wanted to bring it before the council, and they were like, no, we don't want to put a park there. Let's put it over here, but it's going to cost 5 times as much to do it over here, and we're going to want you guys to raise half the money. So we put an organization together, raised half the money. The budget was $50,000. It was very underfunded for a skate park. And but we got it done. It took 2 years to raise half the money, and then we got the park built in '93. Because it was underfunding, we used asphalt and wooden ramps and sheet metal, and in 5 years it had completely deteriorated and had to be torn down in '98. A concrete park like the one that Mr. Gibson showed here tonight, that's 30, 50 years. But I think the cost estimate was over $1 million to almost $2 million for those parks. But you're talking 30, 50 years. And so, that was the difference there. I was only at 18, 19 at the time. And we didn't know any better. But the guy that we hired, our organization, we worked through the Friends of the Parks Foundation, which Carl Legatsky was the director, and he helped broker a deal where the foundation would do the work, contract the work out, and get get donations in kind and things like that, and get sponsors and help raise a lot of that money. And then we got the facility built, and then donated it to the city, which the city inspected it, and then once they inspected it, then it was open, and it worked great for 5 years. Tony Hawk came here, lots of top pros came here. It was amazing, and well ahead of its time. This was before cities really started building skate parks in America. This was one of the very first city skate parks ever built, was right here in America.
Terry, why did it close?
Because the $50,000 budget, we did asphalt surfacing with wood ramps and metal, and the asphalt, rocks come up. You can't skate when it gets really rough, and then the wood deteriorated. Had it been a concrete park, it'd still be there today.
Is there a need for 3 parks?
Absolutely. Apex just opened up a nice facility, but Apex is not as big as Fayetteville, and you can't even skate there on a Saturday. I mean, it'll be so packed, and you kind of need to have, different things. I think too. If you have 3 parks, you're going to want to make them different. And one of them should be catered to beginners and young kids and family, more smaller things where your older teens and your 20 and 30-year-old skaters aren't going to want to go. And then you have a main facility which would cover 80% of the skaters' needs, and then another facility you could have that maybe will go after like an older skater, like your skaters that are still skating in their mid-20s to
Like
40s,
myself.
like myself.
Right. Thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, Ms. Jensen.
Yes, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
What age do children start skateboarding at?
I say 3. Any younger than 3 is too young. There's a lot of kids skating at 3.
So, do you have a lot of high schoolers that skateboard?
Yeah, back forever from the 70s through the 90s, your average skaters were 10 to 14 years old. Now it's more like 14 to 18. The average skater is going up because so many older skaters have stayed with it.
Right.
They keep skating.
And what you've seen with the kids that you work with that are in high school that you're seeing doing skateboarding, are a lot of them in sports at school, or is this their thing that they
That's
like
their
to do?
thing, yeah. And so there is a crossover. We were just talking about that today with certain sports like soccer. A lot of soccer players skateboard. And that's about it as far as the major crossover, unless you talk about snowboarding or other kind of surfing and stuff like
I guess
that.
the point I was trying to make is the skateboard park, it fits a niche for kids. Like you said, when you didn't have your skateboard park, y'all were getting in trouble.
That's right.
Gave
exactly.
you somewhere to go.
Absolutely.
And kind of the kids that's their sport that they love and have their passion for.
Absolutely. That was my thing. I gave up all sports once I got into skating really heavy, just to keep skating.
Thank you again,
Thank
Terry.
you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, I don't see any other questions, council, so I'll entertain a motion.